What's up everyone? Welcome back to the Vegan Demon channel for another video. In today's video, I'll be sharing two recipes that I personally make all the time that are really high in protein, they're very filling, and also nutritious. They're also very easy to make, so I'll go ahead and walk through both of the recipes with you now. For this recipe, I'm going to be showing you my coconut lentil curry. It's super simple, really delicious and nutritious. Cleanup is really easy because it only requires you to use one pot, so you can throw everything in the same pot. It makes a large volume of food so you can save the leftovers, and it's very filling and for low calories. So I'll show you how to make it now. Here's what we have for the ingredients tonight. I've already started to air fry about 400 grams of potatoes just to give them a head start before cooking them in the broth. I have about 10 cloves of garlic. You can use more or less, whatever you'd like. And then a little bit of fresh ginger, about 1.5 onions I'll dice up, along with some curry powder, some coconut milk. I have the light coconut milk, and then some red lentils, and then 2 cans of diced tomatoes. I want to show a quick trick that I have learned for easy ways to dice an onion. So first you'll cut it in half like this and obviously peel it. And then instead of, dicing it in different angles or different methods, what I like to do and I think is most efficient is if you start by cutting sideways like this. So I'll usually do maybe 2 cuts. So you have it cut this way, and then I'll go on top, cut on top like this. So now you've cut it this way and then also on top, and then now you can just dice it as you would normally, and it's all already diced. And then this extra little bit, and there you go. So now I have the onions, garlic, and ginger sauteing in the pot. And now I'm going to add about a tablespoon or 2 of curry powder, and then some cumin seeds with this questionable spelling, and then I'll mix that all up. The reason why you want to add in the spices before you start adding any liquids in is so that you can sort of cook the spices so you get the aromatics out, and it definitely helps with the flavor of the curry as well. Now that I've added in the curry powder and the cumin seed, I'll go ahead and add in the red lentils. I have about 2 heaping cups of dry red lentils that I'll throw in, and then mix this all around for a little bit before adding in the diced tomatoes and the coconut milk and water. Now everything is in the pot. I added in the canned tomatoes and the coconut milk, and also about 400 milliliters of water. You could also use veggie stock if you wanted to. And then I added about 2 teaspoons of salt, as well as the rest of the potatoes that I've already started to air fry. And now we're just going to let this cook for maybe about a half hour. I promise it will look much better than it does now once the lentils start to cook. It has been about a half hour, and you can see now the lentils have cooked nicely. It looks a little bit better, but you can still see it just kind of looks like an orange mush at the moment. So we're going to brighten it up with a little bit of frozen spinach. So it'll add a little bit of green and some more nutrients. So we'll cook this a little bit more, let the spinach melt a little bit, and then it will look a lot nicer. So this is what it looks like after the spinach cooks a little bit. Looks much better now. So this is the finished product. So this whole pot probably serves about 6 bowls, I'd say. I'll put the calories and the macros on the screen per serving just so you have an idea, but probably have, a bowl of this tonight and then freeze the remaining for another time. As you can see, this meal was pretty low effort, very cheap. All of the ingredients, lentils are extremely cheap. So it's, it obviously makes a large portion. It serves, multiple servings, so you really can make a lot of food with little effort and little cost. So for this recipe, I'm going to be showing you all how to make a homemade vegan Alfredo sauce that we will mix with some chickpea penne as well as some mushrooms and peas to make it a nice comfort food, hearty meal that's really simple as well. So I'll go ahead and show you how to get started now. So here I have about 75 grams of raw cashews that I've soaked in water for about 8 hours to basically soften the cashews as much as possible before we put them into the blender, which will be the base of the Alfredo sauce. And then I also have 2 small onions and some cloves of garlic that I'll be sauteing that we'll eventually put into the blender along with the cashews as well. And then to the blender I'll also add in some nutritional yeast for that cheesy flavor. I'll probably add about 4 tablespoons of that, as well as some salt and pepper and about a half of a lemon. So now I've finished sauteing the onions with the garlic, and as always I didn't use any oil. You can see it's still caramelized pretty nicely just with adding a little bit of water once the pan was dry. And now that this is finished, I will add it to the blender along with all of the other ingredients. And now we are ready to add about 300 milliliters of water. You can add more if you want it to be a little thinner, but yeah, now we're going to blend this up. So here's what we have after we've blended it. Pretty good consistency. It will thicken up once it gets mixed with the pasta, but this is pretty good for now. Of course, we need to do a taste test. Delicious. So now that we have the Alfredo sauce completed, it's time to cook the pasta. This is the pasta that I'll be using. There are 80 grams of protein in this entire box, so a lot of extra protein that we'll be getting from this type of pasta instead of regular white pasta. And then on the side I'm going to be sauteing some shiitake mushrooms and some peas, and then I'll mix it all together in this pan and then we'll be complete. To my friends in Singapore, you can't buy this pasta in the store, but you can order it from Amazon US. It has free international shipping on Amazon Prime, so you can order from Amazon US even though you can't get it here in Singapore. So now I've mixed the penne with the peas and the mushrooms. Now it's time to add the Alfredo sauce. And mix. So here is the final product with everything all mixed in. Nice and creamy without using any dairy at all. A nice comfort meal. I'll put the macros and the calories on the screen. I'll probably have about half of this. So super simple and super delicious and filling meal. So I hope you enjoyed the walkthrough of 2 recipes that I personally make all the time. Please let me know down below in the comments which recipe you like best. And if you make either of the recipes, please let me know how they turn out. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And I'll see you in the next Vegan Demon video.